This is Joshua of JTH Boxing. Today I'm here in Manchester after the KSI versus Tommy Fury press conference, and I'm joined by the main man, the presenter, the face of the show, Ade Oladipo. Ade, first of all, how are we doing today, my brother?
You know, I don't know about the face of the show because Ariel Helwani is just behind you. And I mean, that's like, I'm almost co-main when he's around. But I'll take it. But I'm doing well. Obviously, we just wrapped up the press conference. Crazy as expected. Like, that was exactly what I expected to happen. So no surprises there. I didn't expect Derek Chisora to get on the ring. Get on the stage and try and fight the biggest security guard I've ever seen in my life. But that's Derek Chisora. But apart from that, I think it was okay. It was all right. Apart from the bottle hitting Logan Paul, I think it was a successful press conference.
John, I'm actually very happy with you. At the start, when Dillon Danis was throwing those bottles off the stage, one of them actually glided straight into my hand. So I put it in my bag. I'm sticking that on eBay when I go.
If I was you, I would have caught it through it, and you're like, sued him.
Oh, it's fine. Do you know what? I'll already make enough money from selling that bottle on eBay, but game is the game. Let's just get straight into things. Let's talk about the co-main event first. Actually, let's talk about the undercard first. Yeah. It's a massive undercard, isn't it? Sometimes I sit there and look at it and like, why can't traditional professional boxing put undercards on like this? Because Mams and Calla are right. Every single fight in this undercard could be a main event for an event, couldn't it?
Yeah, no, it's an incredible undercard. I think there are 5 main events here. Like Salt and Slim's a main event. You know what I mean? It's a main event. King Kenny Waleed's a main event. You could argue, King Kenny. Dean the Great versus Waleed's a main event. King Kenny, Anthony Taylor's a main event as well. So there's 5. There's 5 with the co-main and main that we've got. So yeah, incredible card. Look, they clearly have the monopoly on crossover boxing, so it's kind of easier to put all this together. But I like it. One big super bowl card a year, where all the best come together is what we need, right? And boxing needs it as well. UFC do it, so we need it in boxing. But yeah, it's an incredible fight card. Honestly, it's one of those where, you know, the doors open at, I think, 5 o'clock for the prelims. Everyone's going to be there at 5 o'clock. Everyone's going to be there at 5 o'clock, and they're going to stay until midnight. So it's going to be 7 hours of just madness. Absolute madness.
Obviously, I know it's a bit of a different one again, but you know, when you look at your journey and everything, like how you started and now you get to be involved with things like these, like how does it make you feel just seeing like the journey that you've been on? Like Saturday night, you're going to be there at one of the biggest events of the year, and it's like, surely it's a little bit mental for you when you sit down and just think about how far you've actually come.
You know, it's crazy. I don't even think about it until I do the first line when we're live. So until they say Ade 5, 4, and then it's like, oh my, you come out, it's like 20,000. Okay, here we go. But yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I do. Like when I see you say things about me on like Twitter, I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe I've come. But you don't even realize anymore because you've been doing so much. Obviously, this is my 10th one for Misfits, and I've done all the like DAZN shows and Talk Sport and Skies. So now it's kind of just the norm, but you still love doing these events. Like these events get you excited. Like with 20,000 in there. It's going to be incredible, and to be like the main person, the guy that opens up it. Crazy, honestly, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Let's talk about the main event quickly. Let's talk about KSI versus Tommy Fury. I want you to fire off your prediction, because I've got a few other things I want to talk to you about away from Misfits, so I don't want to talk about this for too long. But fire off your prediction for that fight for me, please. Yeah,
Tommy Fury should win. He is the pro boxer. He's the one that comes from fighting stock. I mean, his brother's the if you like pound for pound, because he's the biggest man, the pound for pound best fighter on the planet, right? He's been fighting since he was 6. KSI's been doing this 5 years. That guy should beat that guy. But this is boxing, and you never know. You just never know. I mean, we saw Jake Paul knock down Tommy Fury. Was it a slip? Was it a punch? He put him down. I don't know. But I will say this, though. The risk reward is so big for KSI. Like, if you lose, you're supposed to lose anyway. It's fine. If you win, dude, him versus Jake Paul's the biggest thing we've ever seen.
And then co-main event, obviously Logan Paul, Dillon Danis. A fight that's in a bit of doubt at the moment due to what happened on the stage. Obviously, we don't like to see things like that. But if the fight is to go ahead, who do you see winning that one?
I'm going for the upset. I think, I think that Logan Paul, I think we don't know anything about Dillon Danis. There's kind of that X factor with him. Like, can he box? I don't know. I mean, Logan Paul hasn't boxed for a couple of years since the Floyd fight. Can he still fight? All his body's been through injuries with the WWE. I'm going for Dillon Danis to surprise a few people. So I'm going to go Tommy Fury, Dillon Danis double. I don't know how much that gets me on the bookies, but I'm going for that as a double.
I think the Dillon Danis one will probably cash in a fair bit. I want to turn our heads now. Just this past weekend, we saw Lee Wood versus Josh Warrington in Sheffield.
We've got real boxing talk now, eh?
Oh, listen, I'm one from real boxing. This is my first time actually coming to Misfits. But Lee Wood, Josh Warrington, obviously I'm from Nottingham as well. So, you know, while everyone enjoyed it, at the moment, in the moment, I have to say I was probably on the edge of my seat thinking Lee Wood's about to get beat here. But you can just never write off Lee Wood, can you? Especially on the run of form that he's on. You could never really count him out, could you?
No, he's a genuine, true Rocky Balboa story in real life. Like, no one, apart from sort of real hardcore boxing fans, not many casual boxing fans would have known about Lee Wood 4 years ago. Struggling to get a British title shot. Obviously, got that British title shot against Reece Mould. And then I remember I was at fight camp and they said Lee Wood's going to fight Zhu Can. No one interested. Like, about Lee Wood, like, everyone's there for other people in fight camp. Beat Zhu Can, and all of a sudden it's like that. And it's happening. He's 35 now. It's happening right at the end of his career. I mean, he was getting beaten up in that fight. Like, I'm a big Lee Wood fan. 3 fights in 8 months. I love the kid, but he was losing every round. And then bang. And it wasn't a lucky punch because he set up in a southpaw stance. It was a 4-punch combination. It was clean. Bang, bang, bang. I was like, wow. He 100% done that on purpose. How rude of the man. How rude of him. But no, it was a fantastic performance from Lee Wood. I feel sorry for Josh, because Josh is 1 win in 5, and that doesn't really tell the story of Josh Warrington. But that's the fact, right? It's 1 win in 5. But Lee Wood, well done. 3 fights in 8 months. World champion. Sensational. British Fight of the Year.
So now, I want to quickly turn our heads to... Actually, no, the one thing I want to talk about. So when we last spoke, you were heading into the final week of your training camp, your weight cut journey. And you said that last week was going to be the most brutal week, where you were going to cut the weight, you were going to really trim down. How glad are you now that's all over? And, you fully had the chance to actually put the weight back on. This drill is not helpful at all, is it?
No, the drill is incredible. Come on 1 second. This drill is... by the way, you're never supposed to give someone your mic as a test. But no. The drill is really bad. But no, the weight cut was brutal. We went below it. It was supposed to be 175. We went to 173.8. We got it wrong. We kind of took too much off. But it was brutal. It was the hardest thing I've ever done. But I will say this. If it wasn't for all the travelling and all the work I was doing on the zone shows, I could have made 160. I know I could have. So we're going to give it a go again. We're going to go for another weight cut and get down to 160.
So I remember when we last spoke, you said you were never going to do it again once it's done. And another thing, you said you were going to go to Naples for a pizza. Did you actually go out to Naples for the pizza or not?
I decided to go to New York for a pizza instead. I went to New York, you know what I mean? It was, yeah, what can I do, right? But no, we are going to go for 160 because I want to feel like what that's like to get down to. 173 was tough, but I think, you know what it is? It was going to America and seeing some of the big fighters. Yeah. Like Jamel Charlo, I saw him, I met him. I was like, how'd you make 154? If he can make 154, Ade can make 160 at 42 years of age.
And finally, I want to talk about 2 big fights that have supposedly been signed and agreed. First one, Fury versus Usyk, the fight we've been calling out for years now. It seems to be signed, sealed, and almost delivered. We're just waiting on a date. First of all, how excited are we to see that fight be signed?
So excited. I mean, I know people like to say I dig Fury. I dig Fury because I think Fury is the best heavyweight on the planet, and I want to see him fight the second best heavyweight. And it looks like it's going to happen now. I think Fury, Usyk, like nothing's better than heavyweights. Like as much as we like the Floyd Mayweathers and all the, the lower weight guys, Shakur Stevensons, the Terence Crawfords, I was brought up on heavyweight boxing. Mike Tyson was my guy. Lennox Lewis was my guy. So for me, I always want to see the heavyweights because they're larger than life characters who we don't normally see. And I want to see who's number one. I have no idea. Could Usyk beat Fury? Could Fury beat Usyk? Every single belt on the line. Let's do this. So I'm happy that's been signed. I don't think it's going to happen this year. I think it's more likely January or February. But we are going to see Alexander Usyk versus Tyson Fury for all the marbles, I think in February.
Prediction though, who do you think comes out on top?
Tyson Fury. He's too big.
Knockout or points?
Points, or maybe a late stoppage. As good as Usyk is, Tyson Fury's 3 stone bigger. 3 stone. 16 stone and 19 is too much. So I think Fury gets it done.
And finally, Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn is supposedly signed and there's a deal agreed for it to take place in the Middle East. Obviously, it's an all-British fight. There's a lot of history. It's a fight we'd rather see take place on UK shores, at Wembley, Tottenham, Cardiff, one of those places. Do you think it's right this fight happens in the Middle East, or do you think they shouldn't even consider that?
As a Brit, to all Brits, I would like to see all those fights happen in the UK, but money talks. There's a big fight card coming up in the UFC, UFC 294, which happens in Abu Dhabi. So you got to go where the money is. So I don't blame the fighters going where the money is. But this isn't that, is it? They're going to go there because obviously Conor Benn has an issue with the British Boxing Board of Control and his license. I want to see that sorted out, because if it is sorted out, then it's a fight that can do a stadium over here. I really do think the history of the two, especially now what's even happened, there's more story to tell. But, I mean, they want to make the fight. They want to make the fight. You know, it's funny because when the fight was first announced, I was like, okay, Conor might have a chance. Now, after seeing Chris Eubank against Liam Smith at 160 with Bomac, he looked really good. And I just don't know. You can't jump from, I know he fought at 154 2 weeks ago. You can't go from 147 really to 160. And Chris is a big 160 guy, so I don't know. But money talks, and I think it's going to happen. When and where, I'm not sure.
And again, I'm going to push you for a prediction based on right now. Based on the way you talk that, I'm going to guess that you're going to go with Chris Eubank Jr., but I don't know, you might have something else locked in store.
No. Chris should win. Chris should beat Conor Benn. Conor Benn's inactive. Chris has been fighting. Win or lose, he's had 2 fights recently, Liam Smith. And look how good he looked against Liam Smith. He looked really good. So you've got to go to... If anyone says Conor's a favourite, they're lying. Chris is a favourite, but Conor can win. But I'd make Chris a favourite.
I'm going to let you go now. Thank you very much for your time. And I'm sure we'll speak again very, very soon.